What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? Heard I in the morning. Way up she rises. Way up she rises. Way up she rises. Heard I in the morning.
Hello, Internet. I am ill. Yeah, I just needed to get this video out because the open beta for Skull and Bones was recently released, and I wanted to get it out before the game officially came out. I wanted to give my thoughts and my opinions on it, even though no one probably cares. But I'm also sick, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. But at least this way I sound like a radio announcer.
Or the guy who announces movie trailers at every freaking movie theater.
No, but I just want to talk about some of the good and bad aspects of Skull and Bones. This is one of the first AAA pirate games we've seen in quite a while. Sea of Thieves was not AAA, so the last one before that I can think of is Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which was also made by Ubisoft. So right off the bat, I just want to make it clear, I think this game is pretty fun. It's an enjoyable game. You know, there's not a crazy amount to do, but hopefully I can just attribute that to the fact that this is a beta and not the full game. But it does seem like there's some kind of underlying story and background in the setting. The game opens up with you attempting to escort the pirate ship, the Exeter, to St. Anne, but because of the heavy fog, you lose track of them, and your whole company ends up getting ambushed by a British fleet, and eventually all the ships are sunk, and only a few remaining survivors escape. The beginning cutscene for this game is very strange indeed.
The dawn of capitalism, when corporations as mighty as nations rule the seas and dominate the world's valuable trade routes. With an iron fist, they forge a path of tyranny and exploitation. Igniting a battle for global supremacy.
Everything they're saying in the game can be directly applied to Ubisoft and every other AAA gaming corporation on the planet. I mean, just look at this sequence.
Bruh.
You blew it.
The cutscenes comment on the rise of capitalism and these global imperial empires. So it seems like the main villainous factions in this game are going to be the British and the French. The French being this French capitalist company, creatively called the Compagnie, which is how I'm going to refer to them for the rest of this video. Le Compagnie Royale, which, according to Mel Gibson, means the company quarter pounder.
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
Oh man, they got the metric system. They wouldn't know what the a quarter pounder is.
And what do they call it?
They call it Royale with
Compagnie.
Royale with cheese.
that's right.
What do they call a Big Mac?
Big Mac's a Big Mac, but they call it Le Big Mac.
The way the faction system works is confusing and weird. Again, it's just a beta, but I don't know how much I want to be saying that. Like I mentioned earlier, there's this French imperial company, and they are the colonial power in the area, and everyone else, it seems like, is pirates, from what I can gather. But there are a lot of different pirate factions too. But the faction system functions very strangely, and I don't fully understand it. For instance, I plundered a company island outpost, and I sunk multiple company ships, and at the top right it says that they're hostile, and as soon as that's over, they're just neutral. They just forgot everything. As soon as that combat sequence is over, the pirates are a-okay in my book.
This is a world where nothing is solved.
But I mean, this isn't just the company, this is all the factions that do this.
It's been too long, hasn't it?
Illegitimate, remember? You shot me.
No, I didn't. Teodoma.
So it's a little bit weird, and I don't fully understand what Ubisoft is going for here. You would think that the more you attack a certain faction, the less they're gonna like you, the more they're gonna want to kill you. But that doesn't seem really like it's the case, and I kind of wish it was. I kind of wish there were consequences to the choices you made as a pirate. But who knows? Maybe it's just a beta.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe f*** yourself.
Let's skip into the pros and cons. So right off the bat, one of the things that I noticed that Ubisoft is going for in comparison with something like Sea of Thieves is this kind of streamlined sailing mechanic where you just kind of get in your ship and you can go. Whereas in Sea of Thieves, it's a very labor-intensive process. You have people who literally need to run over to the ropes and hoist the sails, align them with the wind, and then you need to drop anchor manually.
Big one! Take us behind those rocks.
Moving behind the rocks.
Keep going. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. And stop. Don't worry, Captain. We'll buff out those scratches.
It's a fun process, I think. But Ubisoft is not going for that. They seem to be going for more of this kind of streamlined, accessible way of operating your ship and your crew. This one, it's kind of just like whatever flavor you prefer. I know there are definitely people who want to be in the trenches, you know, operating their ship, being part of the crew. In Skull and Bones, you are the captain and your crew is the one who does all that. Another massively amazing feature that Ubisoft created was an actual progression system in the game, just in the beta. I mean, there have been so many games that we've seen that have just kind of axed this idea of progressing, any kind of meaningful progression. There's so many challenge-based systems, there's so many battle pass-based ideas, which the battle pass, it's okay, but I think it should be a supplemental thing, not just like the only way to progress. You know, you rank up through the pirate ranks when you gain infamy for doing contracts or bounties or main quests, whatever. And then with that, you unlock the ability to get blueprints to build different kinds of ships. Your character does this seal clap really awkwardly every time you build a new ship, so it just makes that experience that much more rewarding.
Just stop. Just stop it.
And I think the way they did the ship layout, the way that you choose your ship, is really cool. It's really interesting. It makes the game very much function like an RPG, which is what they're going for. The ships have perks, they have health, they have brace strength, which is how much defense you have to mitigate whatever incoming shots hit you when your crew braces for impact. Your crew has stamina. You can apply status effects, take out other ships' sails depending on what weapons you're using. And there are these passive perks that really change the way that the gameplay operates. And then along with that, you have all these different options of cannons and ballistas and bombards and mortars, torpedoes that you can outfit your ship with. And it really changes the dynamic because it lets you choose what kinds of fights you want to get in. Do you want to be a long-range sniper and just have long guns, just firing and hitting weak points with precision, or finishing off the lower health enemies? Do you want to just be like a shotgunner where you just get right in the face, you can ram somebody and then just unload a barrage of cannonballs on them? Do you want to be a bombardier where you're just launching mortar shells up in the air and they come down and rain hell on your enemies? So the way they did it really suits a lot of different styles of gameplay that you want to be. You can be a tank, you can be a DPS, you can be a support health ship, and then on top of that they have little furniture sets that you can buff up your ships even further with. Other big obvious pros, you know, being a freaking AAA company, they better get this right. If they don't get this right, then why are they even a AAA company? What are we paying them for? But the graphics look great. The water looks good, the sky looks good, the sun looks great, the sun in the water, it really reflects well, the moon looks good, the sky at night, it looks beautiful. Everything, it fits well into the gameplay, into the world. And on top of that, the world feels alive. There are ships everywhere. They are constantly patrolling on trade routes, and there are so many different factions that they're actually fighting with each other, and you can spot them fighting in the distance, and you watch their battles take place. In the combat there, it looks terrific. When you just stop and take a moment to observe these two enemy factions fighting each other, or another player coming in and fighting, it's really cool to watch. It really makes the world feel alive and feel like things are happening. There are some things that I wish were in the game, but obviously not every game is going to be perfect. Another thing that is really kind of a bummer is the fact that the island walking is super restrictive, and there's no ship walking whatsoever. I don't think this is going to get any better in the upcoming release of the game. I don't know if they have any plans to add ship walking, but I think that's something they could definitely look into. They definitely won't be opening up the islands for more unrestricted movement. I mean, it really sucks because this is one of the biggest things that they seem to have neglected in the game is land gameplay. Once you get off your ship, first off, you're pelted with loading screens. I mean, these are Starfield amounts of loading screens.
I admire your boldness, but don't let it get the better of you. Yes, Captain, as you wish.
How about it? It has never been in better shape. You show mettle, young knight. More talk is your deed.
But then when you actually get on land, there's nothing to do except walk around and talk to people, maybe trade some things, maybe you got a treasure map for the place, but like that's it. There's no combat, there's no meaningful exploration, at least as far as I could tell. Maybe I didn't find those little cave networks that are hidden, but it didn't seem like there was any real meaningful exploration once you got onto land. This is, I think, the worst aspect of this game, is you're playing a pirate game, but you don't even have a sword. You don't even have a blunderbuss or a flintlock. Like, these are the proverbial pirate tools.
Do you think this wise, boy? Crossing blades with a pirate? You threaten Miss Swan. Only a little. You cheated. Pirate.
You got your ship, your eye patch, your parrot, or I guess in this game it's a lemur, which honestly I'm a huge fan of. Your compass, your flintlock, your sword, your blunderbuss, whatever floats your boat. This is something that you even see in the game when you're walking around on land. In your back pocket, your pirate is carrying a little dagger. It's like Ubisoft is taunting you.
That is a wonderful trick.
Oh, did you think you were gonna get to play some combat on land? Sorry, pal.
It's nothing personal, Jack. It's just good business.
It seems like Ubisoft really focused a lot on the animations in this game too, even for walking on land, even though they neglected that aspect more than basically anything else, but they made all these animations for it to seem like it's super fun when really it's not all that fun. Along with this, there's really not that much PvP. And again, I know this is a beta, but realistically, how much more are they gonna add at launch? I could be completely wrong about this. They could have potentially a whole catalog of things that they add, but my guess is this is going to be treated more as a live service thing, and they're going to be drip feeding all these little features instead of putting them out at launch and releasing a full, complete, and very, very big package of a game.
That's kind of gay, but hey, close.
4, it's down, and 9.
But the PvP that they did have was interesting. It was a treasure hunt where it activates and everybody who joins, you can see where they are on the map and you can see your rivals, and then you can fight them if you want or go hunt for the treasure or whatever. I didn't actually play it that much. Maybe I should go play it first. But my opinions are based on nothing.
You blew it. The
PvP is kind of dumb. It it gives you this location of a map, and you can see who else has accepted the PvP invite and who else is playing. They're called your rivals, and you can see where they are on the map, and it tells you when someone picks up the map, but as soon as they get the cargo, it's over. You can't try to fight them and steal the cargo after they dug it up. You just have to accept that you lost. Really kind of defeats the purpose of being a pirate, doesn't it? But it was a little disappointing that PvP wasn't just open and free. Which again, I understand they're trying to foster this less toxic environment because people can be very toxic. Like there was a situation where I was trying to return to port and then somebody just started firing ballistas at me. And I didn't know that PvP wasn't allowed at this point, so I just started firing all my cannons at him, and then I thought, am I even doing damage? I was not doing damage. I was doing absolutely nothing, and I just looked like a stupid old fart. But I mean, these are a lot of features that Sea of Thieves had, and they made the game challenging, but they made it impactful. When you saw an enemy ship on the horizon, when you were on land, getting treasure, doing quests, whatever, you would shit your pants and you would run to your ship. And if you had friends you were playing with, you would be like, guys, get ready. There's someone in the horizon. And then you would just stare at them through your telescope and see what they do. You would have one person just dedicated to recon. And then if they came by, it would be like, all hands on station, all hands on station. And it became this tense situation where it was like a battle for your life. And you knew if you died, if you lost that fight, you would probably lose all your treasure too, all that work you did. So I understand where Ubisoft is coming from, where they're trying to not make the player experience toxic, but at the same time, you lose a lot when you take something like that away.
Yeah?
But yeah, for the most part, I enjoyed the game. Am I gonna spend $70 on it? Well, actually, it's gonna be $80 with tax, but I don't know. But yeah, so far, Skull and Bones is a really fun game. The gameplay loop is interesting. I don't know how far it's gonna go in the full game, just from what I've played in the beta. If there aren't more ship designs, if it isn't a more compelling story, I don't know how long it can fully last. I can already tell that Ubisoft is gonna drip feed all this content into this game. They're gonna turn it into a live service. That should be obvious at this point in this era of gaming. But if they don't get to that quickly, the game could quickly die off. They need to start shitting out content for this game. First and foremost, they need to address this lack of land combat in their game, because it does take away a very important layer of being a pirate.
Got the cocksucker, Bubbles!
Give it to the bastard! Jesus, he took my bag! He took my... Crank him, Ricky! See how big his feet are! What the fuck are you guys doing? Oh, fuck, he can talk, Bubbles! Oh my god, Ricky, that's because he is Julian. Julian!
Because it does have a lot of potential, and there's really not a lot of competition. It's like, what is the only pirate game that is competing with it right now? It's Sea of Thieves. And honestly, those are two very different flavors of the same game. So really, the audience for this game is going to be a lot broader, just because of how much easier it is to drive your boat, sail your boat, to fly your boat. Yeah, that's a funny joke. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to end this either. But yes, this is a good game. Please, someone sponsor me so I can have money. Well, I guess I'll figure out the ending later. Imagine that. Imagine being part of a disgusting, greedy corporate hegemony like La Compagnie Royale.
Stop! Just stop it!